Fear. Fear of rejection, fear of success, fear of failure, fear of speaking up, fear of... it's just omnipresent. Fear is all the time in our lives. And we want to quiet down and we want to repress it. We don't want to hear it. And you know, that is the perfect recipe to make our fears grow. When we try to repress fear, it just grows out of proportion. Fear is part of our makeup, is part of how our brain works, is part of our life. Instead of repressing your fear, it is more productive to invite him into our life. You see, like if you had a board of directors in your mind, to invite him in so that he could tell you everything about it, everything about what you could be afraid of. And then, precisely because of that, you should get yourself into the fear, into the action that you're so terrified of. Because you see, it's very simple. When you do a worst case scenario analysis of what you would like to do and not taking action, in other words, a worst case scenario of your dream and a worst case scenario of regret, 100% of the time, it is more tolerable to get into the risk of becoming who you truly are, or of becoming the shadow of who you should really be. Imagine you want to set up a company. You go through the whole scenario of trying that out. You go and look for funding and you get a product and you sell and you grow and you get a partner and somebody defrauds you, somebody steals from you, some financial crisis happens and you go bankrupt. That's the worst that can happen? You can deal with that. And the other scenario, you always wanted to set up this company, but you keep leaving it for later. In other words, you don't really ever take action. Who did you become? A pawn for the dream of somebody else. Whenever you have a fear, is that you have the opposite. You have a dream, a desire. And when you invite this fear to the table to speak up, and you say, we are going to exactly do what you are afraid of, you conquer that fear, and you become stronger. In fact, you will think afterwards, if I can do this, what else can I do? So of course you're going to ask me, yes, Blanca, that sounds just so lovely, but how do I actually implement that? How do I actually conquer my fear? You have to do it tiny little step at a time. And you know what is the really cool thing? Is that all these fears are connected. And when you prove one of these fears wrong, the other ones start trembling. Start with the tiniest of actions. The other day, my husband told me that he was going to buy jelly. And believe it or not, I was afraid. Because every time that I tried to make jelly before, it just didn't come right. But I was thinking this way. I am going to chase my fears. And I'm going to do exactly what my fear told me not to. Because the jellies all the time went wrong this time, I'm going to try again. And you know what happened? It came out great and it was so easy. And after the jelly episode, I really felt great. If I can do this, what else can I do? I was so enthusiastic that I went back to my business and I reviewed some financial issues that we have. And I got myself into that complex Excel file and that financial situation with the taxes, Dutch taxes in Dutch language. And I figured it out. Because the first fear that was so silly of getting the jelly done allowed me to get that financial situation done. And after I did that one, I felt on the top of the world. And I will take a more complex fear on. And then I will take another more complex fear on. So every time that the fear, even if it is tiny, like you cannot make jelly, take it on, grab it, and do it. When you do it, you will see that your muscle of self-confidence, self-efficacy will get stronger. And the more self-belief you have, the smaller your fears will be. But you see, your fears will not leave you, because this is a conditioning that is for the rest of your life. You are going to be in this gym of training your self-confidence, training your self-reliance forever. You will never get it done. And that's great. Because the moment when you stop this process is actually when you will start dying. I hope for you that when you are 70, 80, 90, 100, you keep saying, fear, I want to conquer you. And I want to learn this and I want to learn that. Because I am not planning to stop living. I'm not planning to stop learning. I'm not planning to stop growing. So, fear, here we go. If you like this video, please like it, give it a thumbs up, and please share it, especially with those friends who are afraid of fear. We want more people, confident, self-reliant. Please share it and come over to my blog to share with us what was that tiny little fear that you conquered and moved you to say, if I can this, what else can I do? And I say goodbye, reminding you to be all in.